So, hello my Gunrunners, welcome back to AYYKAYY Reacts. I am back doing some more requested videos out of my own homegrown Gunrunners. So thank you all for being here. I'll get to your recommendations soon. But first off, new channel, who dis? I have not seen anything from this channel, and by request of Tim, shout out to you man, the worst radioactive ideas in nuclear history. Before we start, make sure to go over to Blue's channel, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, all of that. Give them the recognition they deserve, and let the algorithm do its thing. All the links are going to be down in the description right below, so make sure to check them out. You can find the link to the video in the top right corner about now, and all the other links you're going to need are going to be down in the description right below. So make sure to check those out too. Without further ado, let's get started. And start.
Meet Alfred Nobel, the Swedish inventor responsible for the creation of the world's most peaceful award.
Sure, after...
Dynamite.
Exactly.
Now, our little Nobel here was a pacifist, and he intended his exciting invention to be used for construction and mining.
Yeah.
But little did our Swede know that when a world leader hears of a device capable of curing an object's need of a violent dismemberment, there are a few things higher up on the to-do list than rocks. They're fantastic for breaking apart large rocks and mines. So, how much can I put you down for? German whisper, German whisper, German whisper. 50,000 kilos. Wow, got a lot of mining operations in Germany, huh?
You sure?
Actually, these mines are in France. At the end of the day, dynamite found most of its uses on the front lines of war. But while it ultimately wasn't popular for what Nobel intended, at least it retained its core concept of moving large rocks.
Explosions, yeah.
They were just more pointed. Stories like this aren't exclusive to Alfred Nobel, however. There are a plethora of examples of breakthroughs in science and technology finding uses outside of their original intent.
The Listerine,
and the discovery of radiation, nukes, and atomic energy are no exception. So sit back and crack open a Nuka-Cola, because today we're talking about some of my favorite nuclear applications in history.
I would die for a Nuka cherry, just FYI. Would love to see how that would taste.
Thank you for joining us today, Tim. You ready for your radioactive history lesson? Good. So
translation, that means yes, and that's me. Oh,
dear God, my legs! They blew off my legs!
They did.
Have you ever found yourself the victim of a surprise tiger tank attack? Well, if it hasn't happened yet,
no,
it will.
But
so when it does,
it's
like
always
Tim.
an option.
Tim forgot the #1 rule of anti-German tank safety. Always have a Hawker Typhoon fighter with rocket projectiles on your person at all times. Luckily, you can train your fighter pilot skills in War Thunder, where you can practice mowing down over 2,000 different tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships in the most comprehensive vehicle combat game to date.
Oh yeah, make sure to support them any way you can. Links are going to be down in the description.
Practice both your anti-German tank safety and your anti-F-16 safety. Did you say F-16? In my safety training sessions, I really loved the accurate damage profiles, so when I shot an enemy's wing or engine, the aircraft would be affected accordingly, instead of just taking some generic damage. So hop in your Hawker Typhoon and practice your safety.
It's a very intricate
PC,
game. I've played
Xbox,
it a lot.
Or PlayStation, using the link in the description for a free large bonus pack of premium vehicles, accounts, and boosters. Thank you, War Thunder, for sponsoring the video. When did you film that? Pay attention, school's in session. Now, there's a popular saying that all good things come in threes, and this is something that the United States really likes to take to heart.
World War III coming around,
3 founding documents, 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I think there's 5. There's 3. And so it's almost poetic that their experimental nuclear...
Just FYI, I know there is 5. I'm a big fan of them. Not really the last ones, but they were still pretty good. Also, the witch in the last few, like, Pirates of the Caribbean, she was a Persian, by the way. Came from our side of the cinema. Don't ask why, but let's keep going.
Cruise missile program also came with 3 separate phases of mass destruction. Let me introduce you all to Project
Electric
Pluto.
Boogaloo.
I thought the whole theme of this video was how nuclear energy was used outside of its original intent. But Cold War arms race project sounds pretty textbook purpose to me. Yes and no, Tim. While Project Pluto was, at the end of the day, a nuclear weapon, don't let the end goal deceive you, for this project had a few unique innovations up its sleeve. It's the Cold War, late 50s, and US scientists had a burning question on their minds. How do you make a nuclear missile more nuclear? Sure, you got the nuclear warhead, but that was delivered by thrusters powered by all this weak conventional rocket fuel. No. What we really need is a nuclear-powered nuclear weapon. Thus, Project Pluto was born. This here is a ramjet engine, which uses forward motion to ram cold air inside, heat it up, and then use the resulting expansion to thrust the engine forward. This process requires a source of heat, which comes from burning of fuel. But luckily, ripping apart atoms with subatomic particles is also a rather toasty process. process. So the idea was to stick an unshielded nuclear reactor inside a cruise missile to power a ramjet capable of delivering an extra nuclear present to their Soviet comrades.
Unshielded.
Just to get this out of the way, I heard you were transferred here due to some HR complaints from your coworkers. So
anyone that works there is going to die, isn't it?
Harassment policy here, John. Nah, dude, won't be a problem. I learned my lesson. Good. Anyway, here we have a ramjet engine. It requires a strong heat source to operate. I can think of a few hot things to ram in there. Know what I mean? Yeah.
HR.
Nuclear energy. John, you're a genius. Yeah. If this process was successful, it was theorized that the supersonic low-altitude missile, or SLAM for short, would have a mind-boggling range of 113,000 miles, or 7.16 billion gumballs, meaning it would be able to stay airborne for days or even weeks before running out of the glowing juice. While an ICBM could also reach anywhere on Earth, the main benefit of the cruise missile was that it could fly at just 500 feet off sea level, meaning it would be invulnerable to interception and virtually undetectable by the technology of the time. To achieve this, air would be blown directly through the unshielded reactor for heat, meaning this little bundle of fun would be showering everything below it with some extra spicy air as it flew by, shattering eardrums at Mach 3. Edwin Lyman from the UCS stated that even before reaching its target, the missile would be a, quote, flying death factory, with the Nevada National Security Site stating it would deafen, flatten, and irradiate people along its path, much like a group of Harley riders. And that's just the first of the 3 phases of Project Pluto's mass destruction. So then we're taking body shots off the grizzly bear, right? Huh? Say, do you taste iridium? But just like how Harley riders possess the physical urge to rev their engines and ruin a community's morning,
you're supposed to. It's a Harley. Come on.
Rev its engine per se. Only it does so about 8 billion times louder. That's because the missile could hold anywhere from 14 to 26 thermonuclear warheads to drop along its path. Because the only thing better than one nuclear attack is several. Of course, this leaves the third and final phase of destruction.
Because one isn't
Pluto
enough.
detonates its own warhead on the last target. One final nuclear ribbon to top off an apocalyptic wake, the American way. 2 versions of the nuclear ramjet engine were built and tested successfully, but regardless, the Pentagon was concerned about how this weapon could provoke an escalated Soviet response. Something about a single flying cruise missile that drops a few suns as it plays connect the dots across the Soviet Union, all whilst leveling infrastructure, rupturing eardrums, and blanketing pedestrians with copious amounts of cancer
Radioactive,
was deemed too provocative. Yeah, and there's room for at least 20 hydrogen bombs in here. Whoa, okay, let's pump the brakes here. This is getting out of hand. Yeah, I agree. It's getting a bit unethical. So we still on for testing those nerve agents on our own ships and sailors? Right? Actually, let's move on to the sarin gas trials. This, along with innovations in ICBM technology, led the program to be scrapped in 1964. But if you were really rooting for our little flying Chernobyl, don't you worry. In a speech that could be mistaken for a Bond villain audition, it was revealed that another nuclear-powered missile was being developed by everyone's favorite Stalin stan, Root Tootin' Putin McShootin himself. And that's not just me talking. The NATO reporting name for the weapon is literally Skyfall. But I remain skeptical about this missile's future. Surely we can count on our little Putin pie to not do anything rash. Speaking of rash, step right up. My name is...
I mean, sure, they're in a war, but they haven't used nukes. Frankly, the lack of nukes was the reason that made them go to war now, wasn't it? The denuclearization of Ukraine. And even though the fighting with Ukraine has gone very, very bad for now, they still haven't used their nukes. Because everyone knows what an insane argument that is. It's the Pandora's box. Whoever opens it can't close it anymore. And I would rather us use something like that to fight off aliens, rather than spicing up the Earth, if you will. Let's keep going.
Dr. Delight, the dazzling, dreamy-eyed devil, here to deliver diverting, delicious, and delectable delicacies right to your divine darlings.
Snake oil salesmen,
every pain, every slight, and every bite. Your sweet tooth shan't seek sweeter after one bite of my radium chocolate. Polish those pearly whites
radium chocolate.
Toothpaste. Give Timmy a radium scope for the little chap's birthday. Fix that face with some radium cosmetics. We've got radium in your water and radium for your daughter. A bit of radium butter for that fillet and even radium lingerie. We can
what the hell is that?
Even fix your junk. Yes. You just
fix your junk.
And we've got radium in it.
I would rather flatten it than put radium
My
on
wife
it.
Is leaving me. I've got radium divorce papers. A radium vibrator? What? It was just getting good. We can stuff it up your trunk? We can't air this. No, what's wrong with it? It's got pizzazz, character, sex appeal. Are you supposed to be doing a history video? Oh shit, that's right. Radium, discovered in 1898 by the unstoppable French power couple Marie and Pierre Curie. Radium is a metallic element that can be found naturally inside of uranium ore and also appears in minuscule amounts in virtually all rocks, soils, waters, plants, and animals. It was quite an exciting metal that took the world by storm in the early 20th century due to its new and practically magical property, radioactivity. Radiation was a new phenomenon at the time, captivating the public who were unaware of its dangers, and instead saw it as this promising and powerful force. Not only did radium give off this new force, but it also glowed really cool. So it began to find itself marketed in all sorts of products, from foods to cosmetics to suppositories, all claiming it had mystical healing properties. This promotion of fraudulent medical pseudoscience is known as radioactive quackery, which is just an adorable name. Radium was pretty much the early 20th century equivalent of healing crystals, only instead of getting laughed at and told to go to the Sonic convention with your Chaos Emeralds, loser, the DNA in your bones got rapidly bombarded by alpha particles from what was essentially nature's Chaos Emeralds. One particularly interesting radium product comes from the 1930s by the name of Radithor. Despite what it sounds like, Radithor was not some obscure Marvel hero that the MCU dragged into the spotlight for Phase 47, but rather a radioactive elixir containing everyone's favorite spicy metal. Priced at $5 for a 2-ounce bottle, around $100 today, this potion was quite literally an energy drink, as it contained triple distilled water with a minimum of 1 microcurie of radium-226 and 228 isotopes each. It was marketed as a cure for the living dead and a perpetual sunshine that could cure the user's impotence and enhance the body. While today we have 16-year-olds dry scooping pre-workout with a cotton candy bang chaser, the Chads of the 1930s were practically giving off secondhand skin cancer as they pounded drinks with an ingredient 3 million times more radioactive than uranium. Radithor's most famous customer was Eben Byers, an amateur golf champion who took several doses of the spicy sauce each day, believing it gave him a toned-up feeling. A few years later, he would die from radiation poisoning.
You know, he just named athletes, roided up people in gyms using it. And then there's that golfer using it. Why? What type of activity is so straining on you while playing golf that you needed an energy drink with concentrated sun in it? Oh, were you sweating too much? Bulking up, roiding in? Pumping weights twice your size or something? You're playing golf. You don't need energy drinks, much less a radioactive one. Cancer caused by radiation. Well, color me surprised. Good Lord. Let's keep going.
After his jaw literally fell off and his bones and tissues began disintegrating. His body was so radioactive that he had to get buried in a lead-lined coffin, and his corpse was still found to be highly radioactive after it was dug up over 30 years later. Now, you're probably curious how a doctor could possibly peddle a health potion containing a substance with very little research around it.
Yeah.
And that's because the company owner behind the drink, William J.A. Bailey, was definitely not a doctor, as he had dropped out of Harvard, but told everyone he was anyway because fuck it. So this can cure my erectile dysfunction?
Who cares, right?
Yeah, dude, I made it myself. I'm a doctor. Oh, score. Okay, can I just throw this in my bag, or is the bottle fragile? Oh, it's the strongest. Trust me, I'm a material engineer. What? Hey, this is the stuff that killed that golfer. What? You're gonna end up in jail. Nuh-uh, my dad's the president. And he went to space. The golfer's death led to the demise of many other patents on radiation-based medication, as the FDA tightened its restrictions. At least it did some good. But don't you worry, there are plenty other non-medicine-based radium products to be sold, such as perhaps my favorite and yet another miracle invention by our lovely William J.A. Bailey, the Radiandoctrinator. Priced at up to 1,000 buckaroos, the device consisted of small pieces of paper coated with radium sulfate and stuffed into a credit card-sized metal case with a mesh window. This atomic credit card was touted as the last word in scientific manufacture and was advertised for a variety of uses, such as directing men to put it under their scrotum at night and to, quote, radiate as directed. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if I roll over and my jingle bells don't get the full dose? Don't you worry, champ. It came equipped with its own special jock strap to roast them chestnuts overnight.
It comes
William
with
Bailey
a
would go on
jock
to die from
strap.
bladder cancer in
Of course
1949.
it does.
But perhaps in another timeline, his radioactive quackery would have actually yielded some results.
Okay, I can't... The picture. I can't take it anymore. It comes with a cup holder. Fondle the family treasures. Fondle the family fondues. Comes with its own jock strap. In hindsight, that is a very, very good thing to come with, you know? In case you grow out a third one for all the radiation it's taking, you're gonna need a place to keep him. So a jockstrap does come in handy. If you were going to cure impotence, you could have I wanted to say you could have gone a more kinky route, but we already saw that they had radium lingerie, so that doesn't make it any better. You know, spicing things in the bedroom usually didn't mean to check everything after with a Geiger counter. I came into this video thinking it's gonna be governments that were stupid and something bad happened. No, it's just people. Just people. Let's keep going. I'm losing my goddamn mind. Let's keep going. Oh, those are also radiant in radium or something? Oh, good.
Let's take a quick break from talking about history. Thank God. And talk about some
that was
news.
history. Lovely. I'm learning so much.
There was a peculiar trend of people getting stuck in things. You had people stuck indoors due to physical illness, laundry machines due to mental illness, or the Suez Canal due to comedic incompetence. March of 2021 saw a quarter-mile-long cargo ship jam itself into the Suez Canal,
huge. Now, I'm not going to blame them. It might happen. It's an accident.
The meme economy couldn't have been healthier. But unfortunately, humor isn't as valuable to the world's leaders as real money, something I plan on changing once I'm elected. So plans have been made to widen the Suez Canal to prevent future blockages. But wouldn't it have been much nicer if we'd already had a solution to this problem implemented in the first place?
By the way, a very, very small tidbit. The biggest undertaking of the first Suez Canal was done by Persian. Just a small tidbit. Egypt, as one of their points in time, was a subject of Persia, or satrapy, if you will, which translates to a municipality, if you will. And we did horrendous things in that war to win Egypt, but we did. Let's keep going.
Back in 1963, a United States proposal was considered that would have done just that, pitching the idea to build an alternative to the Suez Canal through the Negev Desert in Israel. However, the 160-mile-long canal would have been astronomically expensive to dig with the excavation methods of the time.
Yeah.
But, as luck would have it, the world had just invented some fun new toys that were excellent at making big holes. There's no way we could dig all that. We'd never get the budget. Yeah, I mean, if only we could just, nuke our way across it.
Stop thinking. Stop writing.
Jim, no. Like a preteen getting their first taste of power in Minecraft creative mode, the plan was to explode a long line of bombs across the desert to dig a Suez alternative canal. To do this, the US
they can do that stuff in tunnels and mining, right?
Throughout Israel to excavate the required amount of earth at a ballpark cost of only $575 million. The paper described as a crude preliminary investigation.
The only ethical way to use nukes in Israel, by the way. Let's keep going.
In that using these little nuclear excavators appears to be within the range of technological feasibility, which doesn't sound all that confident of an assessment. Like some scientists who used to blow up mailboxes with firecrackers as a kid thought it go boom and then gone. The
and we time it 100 or something.
Only throughout the unpopulated desert wasteland portions of the canal, where radiation wouldn't be a threat to people. Probably. However, while this idea would have been strategically valuable and eliminated the Suez monopoly on shipping passage, it never got past the proposal stage. This is likely because the paper avoided one big elephant in the room, with itself stating, another problem which has not been considered is that of political feasibility. Whether or not the most politically tense portion of the Middle East would be open to the idea of 6,000 nuclear firecrackers in their backyard. Yeah, so we'd use 2 megaton nukes for every mile along this part. What? I said we'd use 4?
Yeah.
We'd use 4 2 megatons.
Normal day in the Middle
East. If we back ourselves up a little bit to note the first sentence of the memorandum, it reads, another interesting application of nuclear excavations. Another? You mean? Yes, Tim. This was not the first time the idea of using nukes for digging was thrown around.
Oh God,
I
thought they actually used
the least amount of development. The Israeli Canal Plan was all a part of a larger program by the name of Project Plowshare, an initiative to investigate civilian use of nuclear bombs for peaceful construction. This included ideas such as widening the Panama Canal, carving roads through mountains, nuclear fracking for natural gas, and creating various bodies of water such as harbors, canals, and aquifers. Through 27 different nuclear tests, it was discovered that while the concept would work, the whole nuclear part left things a bit too radioactive for
radiation.
However, I, for one, would love some radioactive natural gas. Yeah, we just got this new gas fire pit. No need to worry about inhaling smoke anymore. No, sir. My lungs and overall physical health are much better off now on account of the natural gas and all. Todd, why is the fire green? Here, have a roasted marshmallow. Sup. Project Chariot progressed the furthest out of all of the Project Plowshare initiatives, which sought to create an artificial harbor by blowing up part of the Alaskan coast. coast. It was abandoned because the local Inupiat village protested the plan, causing the US to have a change of heart, and definitely not because it was too expensive. I enjoyed reading about that one because it's not often you hear stories about native villages getting their way, so it's nice to learn that they remain safe from any potential radiation poisoning.
Throughout the times,
until it was discovered that a few years later, the US had buried nuclear material there anyway, probably causing the recent spike in the village's cancer deaths. Oh, America. Whether it was insane or truly ahead of its time, no peaceful nuclear bomb projects ever saw fruition. Except for the Soviets, who actually succeeded in stopping some gas fires. Duh. So, how about it, Tim? Feel like an expert in all things nuclear? I mean, those stories are all very interesting, but why is radiation dangerous in the first place?
Eats away your cells, and looks like he has an entire video on it. A good video. Laughed a lot. Good points. I enjoyed that one. Well, that was all for this video. I expected, honestly, all of them to be about governments doing stupid shit, but the snake oil salesman just blew me the hell away. Radiation has no points just being in shorts, suppositories and stuff, especially. The only place it should be in, it's radiological wings in hospitals, of course, for treating cancer, the same thing it causes, and nuclear power. Anywhere else, it's just stupid. I mean, I'm not against it finding new use for it, but I'm saying military application is one of the insane ones. A bomb that has 20 payloads, that's insane. That is genuinely created to wipe out a planet. It's not for fights in Earth. Just look outside to find some new Martians or something. At some point, technological advances are just insane. If the scale goes too high, it is, Something like Project Sundial, I think it was. The super nuke that it had such a big explosion, it doesn't matter where on the planet you are. So there is no reason to make it mobile. Just build it in your backyard and light it on fire when you need it. It might as well just crack the earth open. So what's the point, On the other side, they will feel it. So why would you need to put it on missile? So at some points you have to stop these. He even made the same jokes about the fact that they would stop using nukes, but would go for something like sarin gas and nerve gases. By the way, when they first came out, they were seen as a more humane way of killing people. They thought it was morally better, quote unquote. Anyway, this was another fun video. Thanks for recommending this, by the way. The links are going to be down in the description. Make sure to like and subscribe, all of that. And if you liked my video, maybe do the same for me. I'll surely appreciate it. If you have any other recommendations, put it down in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you all very soon.